I'm going to be talking to you about all the things that I miss from the UK while freezing my ass off in the UK. I am currently in the Midlands right now, and I am staying at a friend's house. Just been here for dinner, and so hence the change of scenery and everything else. And so I'm not on my usual setup. So you're going to see me looking around because I just want to make sure I cover off the points. But I landed about 12 hours ago, and it is cold. I don't miss that from the UK. But the last time I was here, I also landed and it was quite late, and it was also quite cool, even though it was probably about 6 weeks ago. And I rolled off the airplane. I remember walking out, it was about 2:30 in the morning. I remember walking out, and right in front of me, there was a Greggs. So I went out and I walked straight up to the Greggs counter. I'm looking around, I know what I wanted. I'm looking and I see this little puff pastry thing with a sausage in the middle. Oh, sausage roll. Couldn't wait to get a sausage roll from Greggs. How British is that? And for those of you that like Greggs sausage rolls, or for those of you that like sausage rolls in general, here's something to try. Put salt and vinegar on it. Absolute game changer. For those of you that like them, try it. Let me know what you think. For me, the best thing ever. Anyway, you can't get sausage rolls in Cyprus. You can get pastries, you can get sausages, and you can get all of the ingredients, but you just don't get sausage rolls. Certainly not like Greggs, and certainly not like any other typical British sausage roll. So, first thing, sausage rolls. Sticking with food for a second. Crisps. You can get all kinds of things in Cyprus. If you're talking food, right, you can get all kinds of things in Cyprus. And you can go, you get all the English stuff, you get all the foreign stuff, the international stuff, but it all costs more. But the one thing I've not been able to locate, and if anybody watching this in Cyprus can find them in Cyprus, is Walker's Sensations, specifically the Thai sweet chili, because we can't find them anywhere. So every time we come back, we end up buying them in like Tesco or Morrison's or Sainsbury's or wherever. And we end up bringing a load of them back to Cyprus. The most ridiculous thing ever. We've got, hey, that's all right. We've got, it's all good. Right, they're going to be, so anyway, so I'm staying at a friend's house at the moment, and their kids are running around in the background. So we have a load of kids here, totally unscripted, totally unfiltered. See you in a bit, guys. And so anyway, yeah, if anybody can tell me where I can get Sensations on the island, that'd be fantastic, because otherwise we end up just buying them when we come here. So look, what about things to do? Because when people go to Cyprus, they always go and they see the beaches and they see the sun, and you think, oh, it'd be amazing to live here. Well, I can tell you now that if you've got young children, like you've just seen in the background, right? So we all have kids here, and so like, yeah, whenever they come is great, because you can go to the beach, you can go to the water park, and you can do all of these cool things. But Cyprus relies very heavily on the weather, and it relies very heavily on you not being inside, just being outside. So there isn't actually that much to do, because you get to a weekend and you go, oh, I don't really fancy the beach anymore. Like once you've lived there for 6 months, the beach is a bit like, oh, I'm going to get all sandy, the car's going to get messed up. You're like, don't really want to go to the beach. So you go, well, what else can we do? Well, I could go jump in the pool instead. Yeah, I don't really want to go to the pool. What else can we do? Go to the water park. I don't really want to get wet. You know, just like something without water. And it's really difficult to find something to do. Whereas in the UK, because the weather's typically poor, there's loads of stuff to do inside. So you've got like a huge variety of different soft plays you can go to. Trampoline parks, bouncy castle parks. I'm just looking at my notes here. You know, there's a whole bunch of things that you can do like that. You know, cinemas and stuff like that. And you do have those in Cyprus, but they're tiny by comparison. Like the soft plays that we have out in Paphos, there's 3 that I'm aware of. And ignore the ones that are connected to like pubs and restaurants and things like that. Like the actual soft plays, they are tiny by comparison to what you have in the UK. So whenever we come back, my son just wants to go to all of these really cool places, the theme parks, you know, go on the roller coasters, all of the cool stuff that you might do here in the UK. We don't have it in Cyprus. And so you get to the point where you go, well, what do we do? You know, it's the most ridiculous thing. But you get bored. You're like, what can you do? And it's relaxing, don't get me wrong, but if you've got young children, you'll find that actually there's probably more to do in the UK, because even toy shops, you know, there's like an abundance of toy shops here. There are places you can go and do stuff, but out there isn't. Another example is the cinema. So you can go to pretty much any town here. And not only do you have like a selection of like, 4 or 5 soft plays in the town, but a lot of towns will have cinemas in. And you go in, and the cinemas are huge and everything else. And in Paphos, the cinema that we go to is within King's Mall. And it's kind of like quite a small booth, as it were. Like you go in, it's really small entrance, and you could almost miss it. And then when you get in, the screens are, like normal cinema screens. The cinemas are quite small themselves, but the sound quality is atrocious. So we've been to the cinema to watch the latest movies, and the sound, there's no bass. You can't feel it in the seat. You can't feel it anywhere. You go home and you watch it on your surround sound in your own house. And when you've got a better sound system than the cinema, you start to miss UK cinemas. So we stopped watching movies in the cinema anymore in Cyprus. And I actually missed that. Oh, hang on a minute. There we go, we're back. So this is locked. Let me just check that's still going. Looks like it is. Yep, that's cool. Because I'm not on my usual kit tonight. I'm on a laptop and I'm doing this all a bit ad hoc because all my main rig is at home. But anyway, that's good. So I think we're still on. Everything's still live. That's cool. Totally unfiltered, as I say. I'm not going to edit this out. It is what it is. So the cinemas, honestly, like I missed that cinema experience, and it's something that you can now reserve for coming back to England. If you want to watch something with a cinema experience, ignoring the cost, the cost is a lot cheaper in Cyprus for sure. It's really expensive in the UK. I mean, I can't remember last time I actually went to cinema in the UK. It was before we moved out, but I seem to recall it being like £30 or something for like a couple of tickets and some popcorn and some drinks. It gets quite expensive. Whereas it's not that price in Cyprus, but the quality, the atmosphere is just not the same. Well, I didn't think it was. Certainly the ones that we go to. What else? Shopping. Wow. Yeah, this is a big one. So whenever we come back from Cyprus, we've typically queued up a whole bunch of things down the Amazon shopping basket because there'll be things that we want. Now, you can't get Amazon on the island. There is no Amazon in Cyprus. You can go to amazon.de, you can get things delivered. You can go to amazon.pl or Italy or wherever. You can get things delivered from within the EU. If you do it from the UK, you're then paying VAT and everything else. So you end up getting it delivered from mainland Europe. And not everything is shippable. And the things that are shippable, quite often you'll spend more for delivery than you do on the product. So pretty much you write Amazon off, and then you start looking at the Greek sites and everything else. And same-day delivery that you get here, you can get same-day delivery in a lot of cases. That is not a thing in Cyprus. Like literally, you will order something and it will turn up a few days later. So actually having the convenience of same-day delivery from Amazon, like literally, it comes to birthdays, Christmases, anything like that, and you can just order it and something's going to come the next day. I mean, that is a luxury that we don't have. There is a flip side to that though, because I was looking at my own Amazon shopping in 2023, so literally before we left, so the year before, on the run up to us leaving and going to Cyprus, and the amount of stuff that we would just buy that you don't need because it's impulse bought or whatever. It's exactly what Amazon's designed for. They are the kings of online shopping. And it's designed to be as slick as possible for you to be able to buy stuff and buy stuff that you don't need. And so the amount of stuff that we used to buy that we don't buy anymore because you've got to put thought into it, because it's going to take days to deliver if you are getting it local, and it's going to be more expensive. So when you start to queue things up in your Amazon basket, you just, that impulse purchasing goes away. You spend so much less money. You have so much less crap lying around. You have so many less Amazon boxes. So while it is a shame you don't have it and there is a lack of convenience and you have to do a lot more planning, you also spend a lot less, and that's great. Clothes. This is another one. If you like clothes shopping, you can get all the brands out there. You can get all the standard brands that you get in the UK for the most part, right? The problem is that one, it's more expensive because it's an island. Two, I'm a Yeti, right? I'm 6'4". It might not look like it on the camera, but I'm 6'4". I have big shoes, and you cannot get kind of tall clothes out on the island. I struggle to get shoe sizes out on the island. So a lot of that stuff I end up having to come back to the UK. And when I'm back in the UK, then I'll do some shopping because it's just really difficult to get that stuff out there. So, you can get it. They've got Marks and Spencer's out there, and it's all the same stuff that they've got here. You just don't get the selection of sizes, and you're paying a premium on the prices. And the flip side as well, when you are buying stuff out there, so the service in the UK is, for the most part, exceptionally good, in my opinion, based on what I'm seeing out in Cyprus. So for instance, you go to, I don't know, Currys or PC World, or you go to any shop, you go to a supermarket, you buy something and it doesn't work. What do? You take it back and they'll either replace it or they refund you. And it's nice and simple. So about a year after moving to Cyprus, I bought a water cooler. And when I bought this water cooler, I brought it home, put a water tank on top, and water was just leaking out everywhere. It's like, great, it's just got water leaking everywhere. It doesn't work. So what do? Pack it back up, take it back to the shop. What do? I was expecting a replacement or a refund if they didn't have it in stock. No. They sent it away for repair. I'm like, I don't want it repairing, I want a new one. Like, no, we have an opportunity to repair it. And so I was a bit miffed at this point. I went home, let them do their thing, but I went home and I searched this online, and within EU law, if you buy something and it's faulty, they have an opportunity to repair or replace. So you can buy a brand new product, it can be faulty, you bring it back, and then in this instance, they kept it for 3 weeks to fix it and actually changed a part in it and they fixed it. So I got essentially a reconditioned flipping water cooler. That just never used to happen in the UK. If something's broken, like certainly with Amazon, if something's broken, you just ship it back. They'll ship you a new one before you've even sent the old one back. You know, it's sort of like an honesty thing. And then if not, then you get billed for it anyway. It just doesn't happen out there. And I miss it. The service is atrocious. You know, we now buy things in Cyprus and we kind of go, once you've handed over your money, you'll never get it back. It's kind of like, you know, don't buy something unless you're prepared to not get a refund, because it's just a waste of time. You know, in our experience, there's no point buying something thinking, you know what, if it doesn't work, I can just get my money back, because they'll give you a credit, they'll give you a store credit, whatever it might be. They'll literally do everything to not give you your money back. So just assume if you are buying something in Cyprus, you hand your money over, it's gone. You know, you never see it again, even if, like, you know, there's no try before you buy or anything like that. It's gone. So that's the shops, that's the servicing. What about driving? Now, I did a whole video on driving in Cyprus, but why do I miss that from the UK? Well, I picked up a hire car this morning, and I picked up the hire car and I'm driving back, and I'm driving down the motorway, and I'm coming down to my friend's house tonight. And what I remembered, which I'd kind of forgotten about, to be honest, is that people are so polite here. People are really polite. Like, literally, you're sitting there, you've got your indicator on, you're trying to pull out of a junction, and people are like flashing you, waving you, letting you come out. Come on, come on, come on. And I try and do that in Cyprus. I try and be the Brit that lets all the Cypriots out. But what you find is that actually in Cyprus, like, it's a different driving style. If you're driving in Cyprus, you just need to be forceful. You learn to be forceful. You learn to drive the Cypriot way. So driving around in England now, I've got everybody being polite to me. Plus I've got my Cypriot mentality now. So I can just go where I need to go because all these people are letting me out. I can just pull out and people are, yay, it's all good. So you've got that side of things. But also the other thing that I used to take for granted, which I now don't, are indicators. Indicators in your car, right? You want to go left, you indicate left. You want to go right, you indicate right. Really simple, right? If you're not indicating, you're probably going to go straight on. In Cyprus, if you indicate left, or if somebody's indicating left, do not assume they're going left. They could be going right. They might be going straight on. And just because they're indicating right doesn't mean they're not going left. It's like life's a lottery. Be lucky. It doesn't matter what they're doing with indicators. You kind of watch their face, and are they going to pull out? Are they going to turn? Are they not going to turn? And honestly, people use indicators here because they're coming off a roundabout and they're going to go left or they're going to go right. And it's just nice and easy. And I miss that. And I've only realized that today, just literally driving back now, driving in the car, and you go, wow, people are so polite here. People do what they kind of say they're going to do with indicators, and it's freaking awesome. Lastly, I think I'm going to just talk about is the prices here. Because everybody talks about cost of living crisis. Yeah, everybody's talking about how prices have gone up in the UK and everything else. And they have. I'm not going to deny that. They have. They're going up everywhere, though, let's be honest. But the thing is, when you live on an island like Cyprus, you get the island tax. Now, what does that mean? Is it an island tax? No, it just means that supply and demand, you've got a small island, you haven't got as much demand, so when they're importing things, they've got all the costs of shipping and importing to the island, prices go up because the costs go up. So you end up paying more for the same thing. And the big one for me is cars, sticking with the car thing. I'm a massive petrol head. If you watch my car video that I did a few weeks ago, you'll understand, you know, I am a massive petrol head. And the prices of cars in the UK is like everything is on sale. So I was talking about liking the Jaguar XKR. You can buy an older one, albeit maybe like 15 years old, but you can buy an older Jaguar XKR here for about 10 grand. With decent mileage, you may be looking 13, 14 grand. So to get an XKR in Cyprus with reasonable mileage, bearing in mind there's not many, so they hold a premium anyway. And you're talking a 4.2 litre engine, not the 5 litre engine, the 4.2. That was 35,000 euros. That was down from 40,000 that they were trying to sell it at. So I keep looking at it. I'm like, man, everything is so freaking cheap here. Like, I come back and I'm like, man, it feels like everything's on sale. Now, that's really hard to understand. If you're living here and you're working here and you've got the cost of living crisis and everything else, it is going up in price. Costs are more expensive. But when you live on an island as small as Cyprus, where you've got less than 1 million people living there all year round, prices are high for everything. Food is more expensive, albeit it's arguably better quality, but food is more expensive, clothes are more expensive, electronics are more expensive, your cars are more expensive, everything's more expensive. So then when I come home here, it's like everything's on sale. Kids' toys. If you buy a book, my son reads Dogman, the Dogman books. And he bought himself his book in Cyprus, and he was really happy with himself. 15 euros. The same book on Amazon, £4. So again, prices here, if you're used to living here, don't feel cheap necessarily. But when you're on an island, whenever we come back to the UK, I just miss it. I feel like every time I spend money in Cyprus, I feel like I'm being ripped off because everything's a bit older, the technology is a bit older, it's all a bit more expensive. So yeah, there we go. There's a whole bunch of things that I miss from the UK, and there's probably a load more. I'm talking on the fly tonight. I'm here rather than in Cyprus. I haven't got all my rigs that I've got set up normally. So that's where I'm going to leave it. What I will say is if you're an expat and you're living in Cyprus right now, if there's anything you miss, if there's anything that you're missing from the UK, what is it? Put it in the comments below. I'd be interested to see what you're all missing. But yeah, that's what I'm missing. Hope you found that interesting. I'm going to leave it there because I'm going to go back and socialise, and I will catch you next week. Might be late next week though, because my laptop's gone off again. Might be late next week, so I'm going to be flying back late that afternoon. So I don't know what time I'm going to get back. Actually, I need to check. But if I am late, then bear with me. I will do a video regardless. Catch you soon. Cheers.